stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas. To those guests who've just joined us, welcome. Our next stop is the Magic Kingdom. For those of you standing, please hold on to the handrails throughout our journey and stay clear of the doors. Stay clear of the doors. Ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching our station at the entrance to Main Street, USA.
Welcome aboard the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. This is Justin Monorail, and this is episode number 240 of the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. Today's Monday, February the 24th, 2025, the final week of February. We're rounding it out. Farts is behind us, so to speak, and we are moving ahead. The next time you hear us will be in March, but we've got another few days of February to enjoy before we get there, and we're going to do that with some Walt Disney World news. Today it's just me. Steffers and Landon have a much-needed day off, so you're stuck with Justin Monorail. It's another Justin Solo Rail episode, but we're going to get through it together, as we always do. I've picked out some news. I've got some headlines. We're going to go through them. We're going to talk about Walt Disney World, and I'll give you a couple little tidbits of experiences I've had along the way. Before we get into all that, I want to remind you of our affiliate. We do have a partner that is working with the Monday Morning Monorail podcast to give you a great deal and a great service at a great value when you come to Walt Disney World. That partner is the Vacation Grocery Delivery team. Yes, Vacation Grocery Delivery. Their website is www.vacationgrocerydeliveryfl.com. Just as a reminder, this company is run by former Disney cast members, and the service goes beyond groceries. You can order strollers, coolers, birthday cakes, a few other things as well. Easy online ordering, item-specific notes for preferences, flexible service for non-grocery items, and a special water delivery option for $4.49. Their fees are $25 for delivery plus a 5% service fee. A $20 activation fee applies, but is refunded after payment. Use the promo code DISMORNINGS. That's DISMORNINGS for $5 off any grocery order or $10 off any 2 items on the Magical Extras. Make sure to schedule your deliveries to your resort at least 3 days before you need the delivery. That is Vacation Grocery Delivery, vacationgrocerydeliveryfl.com. Make sure to hit them up and use that code DISMORNINGS. It'll let them know that you heard about them from us, and that's only a good thing. We can strengthen that partnership, and you're getting a great service, getting your groceries delivered to your resort, saving some money along the way, because you know it's not cheap to eat in the parks. But you know what? I feel like that's a great segue to the Walt Disney World news, so let's dive in. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're back with Walt Disney World headlines, news, exciting updates. There's some pretty cool stuff to talk about today, so I'm excited to do it. I miss my partners in crime, Steffers and Landon, but we'll catch up on this stuff whenever they're back next week. The first thing I want to talk about, speaking of expensive food in the parks, it's already, you're spending a lot of money, you're dropping a lot of coin, a lot of Disney dollary dues, whether you go quick service, whether you go table service, it's not cheap. We all know that, but the last thing you want to do is pay a ton of money for your food and then sit in the boiling hot sun and melt away. Your wallet's already getting thinner. Maybe you'll get thinner because you're just naturally going to lose water weight, but we don't want to do that. We don't want to get dehydrated. We don't want to melt in the sun. So I have good news. If you're a fan of Woody's Lunchbox, Disney has constructed some new shade structures in that area. They don't cover the whole area. It's just right around the Connects Tower. But this is a move in the right direction, because if you have ever, I don't know why this is. If you've ever tried to sit down and eat lunch or dinner or even breakfast, it's let's face it, in the summer it's hot at breakfast time too. You sit down at Woody's Lunchbox, that it just feels so hot in that area, and I can't explain it, but that's probably I think, in my mind, the hottest location I've ever eaten. You may have different experiences. Your mileage may vary. But for me, pound for pound, that is a very hot place to eat on a hot day. So there are some shade structures there. And while it doesn't cover the whole area, at least it is a step in the right direction. So check that out. That's a good thing. They're not totally ready yet. They're still behind some construction walls, but they will be ready very soon. And that's great because it's only going to get hotter as we move into the summer, and it's going to get wetter. We're going to get a lot more rain. So hopefully this will provide some protection. By the way, if you want to follow along with any of the articles that we talk about today, any of the Disney news, you can do that at dismornings.com. We've got news, we've got a rumor tracker, we've got all kinds of things that you can check out on that website. Plus, it's a one-stop shop for your merch, the podcast, like all sorts of things. Go check it out, dismornings.com. I mean, I hope that this is just the beginning, and I hope that they add some more over there. The other thing is, we always say it is a fight to get seating at Woody's Lunchbox. The cast members are doing a better job of making sure that they keep that area closed off and just only allow people who are ordering food to get to the tables. But even so, and we could talk about this, like the etiquette of quick service tables. Do you send someone to go hold a table while another person goes and gets the food? Or do you go place your order and you don't get a table until you get your food? I personally try to do the latter because, I mean, who knows how long it's going to take for your order, for you to get your food. People could come and use that table, be up and gone before you even, get your food. But I don't know. I also understand how much of a headache it is, especially if you got kids. And maybe that's a little bit different story. You're carrying a lot of stuff. But I don't know. I personally think, especially if it's like small groups, whatever it is, and you got like mostly adults, and most of the time I think they do this. But I kind of think you wait until you get your food until you get a table, right? But I don't know. I know not everybody thinks that way. In areas where it's hard to get a table, it's a double-edged sword because people are like, well, now we got to, we're going to watch like a hawk. And as soon as anybody starts cleaning their table, they look like they're going to get up. We're going to go stand over them, which, by the way, is that's a whole nother thing. If you're the person sitting at the table, you got people watching you and you start to like wipe your mouth. It looks like maybe you're cleaning up and all of a sudden you've got like people standing over your shoulder just waiting for you to get up. That's a whole nother thing. But anyways, I digress, as I often do. Woody's Lunchbox, getting some shade, and I'm throwing shade at people who have bad park manners. Let's head over. Why can't I speak? I never can. Let's head over to Disney's Animal Kingdom. I actually went there yesterday. I was hoping that I was going to get to see baby Baxo, the brand new Sumatran tiger, but unfortunately, I had two disappointments yesterday. May and I decided to explore the Maharaja Jungle Trek and go check out the tiger enclosure. Well, sadly, we didn't get to see the baby. I think it was near the end of the day, and maybe he had already gone to bed for the day or something, because we didn't see him. He wasn't out. We did see, kind of cresting over the hill in the tiger enclosure, we saw the head of a tiger, but we didn't see baby Baxo. So unfortunately, it'll take another day. But that wasn't the only disappointment that we had yesterday. The other was, I didn't realize the bat exhibit was under refurbishment. And that's one of my favorite things on the Maharaja Jungle Trek. I'm weird. Bats are awesome. I think they're always in contention to be my favorite animal. I think they're very cool. I know they're kind of gross and weird, but that's part of what I like about them. And those bats are awesome. They're like the big, huge bats in that enclosure. But it was closed off, and I thought, oh, well, maybe they just closed this area down early, but come to find out, no, it's actually under construction. And from what I found out, the exhibit closed back on February 17th, but it will be back soon, hopefully sometime in early March. So, that's great. And maybe they're just doing some standard maintenance back there, but I think those bats are really cool. So if you ever go back there, check out the bats. Give the bats some love. You don't have to walk right past it. They're cool. All right, we're going to step outside the parks for this next one. The next two news items are pretty big updates, and I'm pretty excited about it. So the first one, do you remember the NBA experience? Have you heard the tale of the NBA experience in Disney Springs? Well, that location has had a couple of different uses, because that also used to be the location of Disney Quest. And now that both of those things have come and gone, we've got this empty space sitting there ready to be used. And we have confirmed we know what is coming to the former NBA experience at Disney Springs. It is going to be a location, a new interactive gaming, real-world gaming experience called Level99. According to the Level99 webpage, they are a first-of-its-kind destination for adults featuring real-world interactive social gaming with over 50 physical and mental challenges set in artistic environments. At It's going to continue. I've had coffee, I swear. At Level99, you are working with your friends to discover new challenges, collect all the stars, find digital treasure, and master new experiences. Besides challenge, you can laugh, socialize, take photos, drink, eat, and have a blast, which I would hope you'd be doing the whole time. Rooms with themed challenges. These are some of the features. You get rooms with themed challenges. You get to work together in dozens of unique challenge rooms with your team of 2 to 6 players to test your body and mind. Each room is a unique experience falling into our physical, skill, or mental categories. Physical rooms will test your strength, balance, flexibility. Skill rooms will test your accuracy, timing, and reflexes. Mental rooms will test your memory, problem solving, spatial thinking, and more. Your team has each room to yourself, but only 1 to 4 minutes to complete each challenge, so act quick. Player versus player duels. If competition is more your style, face off against your friends in a variety of player versus player competitions for glory and bragging rights. Art hunts. Featuring over 50 pieces of local, one-of-a-kind art, our games will have you searching, solving, and discovering every inch of this wonderful space. Art hunts are a low-key scavenger hunt involving the playful art found all throughout the space. Each piece of art contains a hidden glyph. Completing art hunts is the surest way of seeing and exploring every inch of our bright and whimsical wonderland, so make sure to complete them while you're rehydrating in your downtime between games. And then handcrafted food and drinks, Detroit-style pizza, legendary fresh local beers on draft, artistic handcrafted creative cocktails. So you know that catches my attention. So this is interesting because Disney Quest was like an immersive gaming environment. I know it was a little different, more of a arcade style, but it was supposed to be like a elevated arcade. This is, I guess, taking it another step further, but it's very interesting that gaming is coming back to that location. And I can't wait to see it. I'm also sort of interested how the physical rooms are going to look at this location, because I do think Disney works pretty hard. They don't always do the best job, but I think they work pretty hard to make sure that all their attractions and the things that they offer in their parks are accessible to most or all people. And I know there's exceptions. If these rooms really are about testing strength, balance, flexibility, there's definitely going to be people who won't be able to participate in those sorts of things. And I know Level99 is an outside company, but Disney, I would imagine, would try to encourage them to include activities and games that most people can participate in. So I saw on the website and on dismornings.com, our article, one of the pictures, it's got people like hanging from the ceiling by their hands, like holding themselves up in one of the rooms. And I was like, well, I don't think I could do that. Like, there's a lot of people who can't do that. So, but I know you don't have to do all the games. You don't have to do that. And there are other things that you can do. I just think that maybe they'll encourage them to like minimize the amount of those physical type rooms. But they'll be there in case, I guess, for the people who want to do that, but you don't have to. It seems like this is a place where you can go and do a lot of different things. And having a nice bar with lots of handcrafted cocktails and good food, that's a good thing too. So I'm excited. I think this will be interesting to check out, and most likely a little more popular than the NBA experience, I would say. So who knows how long it's going to take before this opens. I would say we won't see it until, let's say fall, at least. Maybe the fall, maybe winter time they get this place open. Just for the sake of fun and measuring how good I am at predicting things, let's say October. Maybe they open this like mid to late October if they start working now. And I mean, because it sounds like there's a lot of work they're going to have to do. They're going to maybe they already did sort of white box it, clear out all the NBA stuff, but still, we'll see. Exciting to actually have something going in that location, and I think Disney Springs really does need something like that, especially with the void gone. You got to have some games, you got to have some interactive experiences, you got to have a way to have some fun. It's a really good thing to do on like a rainy Disney day as well. So very welcome, very welcome. Speaking of welcome, let's talk about the final update, the final headline for today's episode. Disney announced this week the end of virtual queues for Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind and Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Finally, I'm a little surprised that the Tiana's Bayou Adventure virtual queue is coming to an end so quickly. According to what I have been able to gather, it has been 242 days, maybe 243 or 44. It's been like 250 days since the Tiana's Bayou Adventure started. So not even a year of using it there. We did talk about, I guess, was it last week we were talking about, they already got rid of the virtual queue for Tiana's Bayou Adventure at Disneyland. So, this, I guess, is not a huge surprise, but it just didn't last, as long as it could have. Especially after they took the virtual queue away from Tron. I thought that possibly, it would stick around for a while for Tiana. But nope, it's gone. So that means you can join the standard standby queue, and it makes your day a little more flexible. Now, of course, that means wait times will probably, vary a lot more frequently. And you could see wait times go to like 60, 90 minutes, whatever it might be during peak times. But it also sort of means that on slow days, you could ride it, and you can ride multiple times, which you couldn't do really with virtual queue. Unless, now, of course, you can multi-pass, and maybe that gives you another ride at Tiana. But in this case, you can ride standby as much as you want. And if you're willing to wait whatever the wait time is, you can keep riding it. And assuming it's operating, because we know it has some struggles sometimes. Now, Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind over at Epcot, this is something we've been asking for a while. Now, it's been 3 years that they've had virtual queue going for Cosmic Rewind at this point. And I didn't know this day would come. I didn't know if it ever would, especially thinking about their, the relaunch of Test Track whenever that comes back. I thought maybe there was a chance that when Test Track came back, they would switch the virtual queue over to the new Test Track 3.0, and it would go away from Guardians of the Galaxy. And it would kind of make sense to do that because the demand's going to be really high for Test Track, so they're going to want to make sure they don't have 3, 4, 5 hour waits going on for Test Track. Plus, it spreads the crowd out a little bit, because once you take away the virtual queue for Guardians, now people are rope dropping Guardians. And we found out it will be included in early entry for theme park guests or resort guests. If you're staying at the Walt Disney World Resort, you get the 30 minutes early in Epcot. So you'll be able to go to Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind and get in line. And again, pros and cons. What does this mean for you? It means you don't have to get up at 7 a.m. to try to book your virtual queue and play the fastest finger game. So that was always a stressful thing. You didn't know what group you were going to be in. You had no control over that. You could have been group 1, which sometimes I don't think I ever got group 1. I think I got like group 3 one day. And that's not good for me because I live at like an hour away from Disney. So then I'm thinking, I didn't plan on, going over to the parks for another, until like 11 or noon or something. And now I have to go even earlier than I wanted to. Local problems, right? But you could also get like group 40, and then you're not going to get called until, noon or 1 or 2, whatever it may be, and you wanted to do it early. And that kind of throws a wrench into your planning for your day, because then you have to plan around that. Now, have to throw in, of course, at Guardians, they were always very good about if you came after you were called, even if you were past the hour window, because they give you an hour window to return once your group is called. So if they call you at 10, you can go from 10 to 11, and you should be fine. Very true about Tron. They only let you return during that hour window. Of course, now, no virtual queue for Tron. But at Guardians, they were flexible. I never experienced a time, and I'll be honest, I took advantage of this policy because there were times that, I did get called very early for Guardians, like say 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. I get called. I don't show up until 1:30 in the afternoon, and I go and I would just tap in, and they let you go. There was never a problem. They didn't stop you from returning late. But at Tron, they would. I don't know how they were with Tiana. They may have been strict about that too. But now so I'm saying that to say, I know I'm sitting here saying it gave you difficulty in planning your day because it tells you, here's your group, you have to return at this time. But there's, of course, flexibility in there if they're being nice about you returning anytime. But now it really is up to you. Now, Guardians is still going to be an individual lightning lane option, so you can pay to get your slot, and then you get to pick your time, which is good. So you can do that, but standard, just standby. I am a known proponent of virtual queues. I actually really like virtual queues from the standpoint of limiting wait time. And if you implement it correctly, stacking up your day with virtual queues would be ideal, in my opinion. If you put all the headliners on virtual queue and it wasn't like so competitive the way it is now, I think what I'm about to describe is more like FastPass, like original FastPass Plus. But like, you know, say you get 3, let's just say perhaps you get 3 virtual queues and you can use them how you want. And I'm going to pick, you know, these 3, but I get to pick my return time. And I do that ahead of time. This is exactly FastPass Plus. But that's what I'm saying. If you do it, you could do it on the day of, okay? But instead of getting up at 7 a.m. to have to tap in and you get 1 virtual queue, why not do it? You get to the park and they either have stations where you can go and you tap your magic band, you pick an attraction and pick a return time. And then you can just do that throughout the day. So you only get 1 at a time, but you're like, okay, I'm going to tap in. I want this virtual queue for, let's just say, 7 Doors Mine Train. I want to return, you know, and of course the options would be limited as the day went on, but like, I want to return at 3 p.m. So then you can go about your day and you stand by, and then you get called. It's almost like a version of paper FastPass, but just using electronic, like digital options. The hang up there, I guess, would be when the park opens, you would have to have enough stations because everybody would be running to like get the virtual queue. So this is a bad idea, guys. This is why I'm not. This is why I'm not in park operations. Maybe I can't solve it. I can't solve it. I can't help you. I guess all I'm saying is I think virtual queue works best when it's like a across the park policy, not a one ride you have to get at 7 a.m. and then that's the only one. And then it makes it worse when it's virtual queue and lightning lane only and there's no other option to ride that ride. That's bad. That's a bad way of doing it, and I don't suggest doing that. So circling back, I would much rather everything just be on standby if we're not going to use virtual queue on everything and just eliminate standby completely. Use standby and let people just manage their day. And you can make the choice. You see a line's 3 hours, you want to get in it, fine. That's up to you. I'm not going to do that, but I will watch, and maybe, you know, now speaking of planning and strategizing your day, this changes how you approach Epcot from a rope drop standpoint, because are you going to rope drop and run over to Guardians first thing? And if that's true, well, how, you know, what's the effect on things like the, you know, Frozen and the Ratatouille adventure, Remy's Ratatouille adventure? Because those right now tend to have longer lines because people don't have to go and stand and wait for Guardians. So it does sort of shift the traffic around, and it'll be interesting to see how that affects the park. I don't think it'll have as big of an effect at Magic Kingdom with Tiana's going standby. I think that line is going to, it'll probably be similar to what we saw with Splash. You know, it'll probably hang around 45 minutes, go up to, you know, 70, 80 minutes. I can't see it being like more than that on like the busiest days. It may be, who knows, but. And then at lower times, you know, lower crowd level days, maybe it's like a 30-minute wait or less. But I don't think it really shifts around for most people what your rope drop strategy is, because people are going 7 Doors Mine Train usually. And I mean, I think that's like, or Peter Pan, I guess. It's because you don't want to wait 2 hours for Peter Pan. I don't know. We'll see. It's interesting. I mean, anytime things like this change, it's interesting. So starting February 25th, we'll be able to see how it affects everything. And then we'll report back. But in this case, I think this is good. You can ride Guardians as much or as little as you want. You can wait in as long a line as you'd like to, and it's all your choice. Or pay for the multi-pass, and you'll be fine. Tiana's Bayou Adventure, again, is part of the Lightning Lane multi-pass, so it's just one of those you'd select ahead of time, but Guardians is single pass, so you can pay for it individually, and you don't need the multi-pass to even do that. Did you know? Well, now you do. Okay. I don't know how I do it, but I always manage to talk for like 25, 30 minutes when I'm doing these on my own. I wouldn't listen to myself for 30 minutes, but I'm glad that you all have. Thanks for hanging out with me. That's about all we have for today. So on the way out the door, I just want to remind you that as we enter March, we're only a month away from Living with the Landon. April 1st, 2025, Landon, the Dawes Doan, is turning 40 years old, and to celebrate his birthday, he wants to give back. So he has chosen to do a marathon ride of Living with the Land on April 1st. We'll be at Epcot, we'll be at the Land Pavilion, and we'll be riding Living with the Land all day long to raise money for the Second Harvest Food Bank of East Tennessee Food for Kids program. You can get involved. You can help us raise money for a really good cause. Go to livingwiththelandon.com. There's a form at the bottom, and you can either pledge per ride, or you can make a one-time or pledge a one-time sign up for a one-time donation. I'm trying not to use the same words over and over again. And basically what we'll do after the event on April 1st, so expect 2nd, 3rd, whenever I can get to it right after, I will email each one of you individually. And if you pledged per ride, I will tell you how many rides Landon completed and do the math for you to tell you how much your donation to Second Harvest Food Bank will be. And then I'll give you the instructions and the link on where to donate. And we just want to make sure that that goes under the Living with the Landon bucket. They know that that money will go to the Food for Kids program. So that's what we're doing. I'll get back to you, and then it's on you. It's a trustism, and I trust you all. Why would I not trust the Monday Morning Monorail family? The Monorail fam is the best in the biz, and I know you all will come through for us. And if you buy any merch, we do have merch. There's t-shirts and like mugs and things. You can buy the merch, and anything above cost to produce the item and ship it is going to be donated to Second Harvest Food Bank as well. So keep all that in mind. You can get involved, and we really appreciate you. For those who have already donated and signed up, thank you so much. If you've bought some merch, we appreciate that. And for those who will, we salute you. So thank you so much for doing that. Make sure you follow us on all the things at Morning Monorail on Blue Sky, on Instagram, on TikTok. Go to the website, dismornings.com. We have a Facebook group, the Monday Morning Monorail fam on Facebook. You can look us up and subscribe to the YouTube, Monday Morning Monorail podcast on YouTube, because you'll get to see the videos of these podcasts. You see our smiling faces and me hiding behind a microphone. And it's a good time, and we appreciate you for doing that. We have a Discord as well. Steffers it's Steffers on Blue Sky and Adventures with Steffers. And don't forget that she has a Twitch channel. She has a YouTube. She's playing video games, and you can watch her play video games and hang out with her. It's always a good time. And she's on TikTok as well. And Landon is the Dawes, TheDoz on Blue Sky. You can follow him there. And don't forget, he's on the radio. He's on News Talk 98.7, 6 to 10 a.m. in Knoxville, Tennessee, every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And you can stream that live on newstalk987.com. Listen to him doing like real world, actual audio radio work. He does it. And I'm just Justin Monorail. Justin Monorail, no space, no anything on Blue Sky, and then Justin_Monorail. You can usually find me like on Instagram and other places. Thank you all so much for being part of this show. Thanks for being part of the Monday Morning Monorail family. Thanks for putting up with us. We love you so much. Hope you had a great February. Looking forward to a really good March. And until we talk next time, thank a team member, thank a cast member, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.